Hello students, in this video we are going to continue with our chapter on planning, and today we are going to discuss the concept of forecasting and scheduling. So forecasting, you all know, is about future trends. It is prediction of the future trends. How do we predict the future trends? We predict it on the basis of some data. Now this data that is available pertains to the past or present. So something that has already occurred or something that is already which is going on at present, the data is collected, the data is gathered, and on the basis of this data, the future trends are predicted. This is known as forecasting. Again, as we said in planning, that planning cannot eliminate risk. It can only help you in taking up calculated risk. Same is the point with the forecasting, that it can only help the managers in being more calculated in their risk taking. It cannot eliminate the risk altogether because you are talking about future, and future will never ever be 100% predictable. It can never be 100% predictable. So there will always be an element of risk. Yes, if we have proper data, if our estimates are proper, if our forecasting is proper, the risk will get reduced down. Now, when you are talking about forecasting, because you are predicting the future and you want to be as much accurate as possible, what are the things that will impact the accuracy of the forecast that we are making? First is that what are the factors which impact the predicted variable? If say I am predicting the sales of my product in next 6 months, then first thing that I have to see is that what all factors are there which are going to impact the demand of my particular product in the market. If the variables which I'm studying, which are going to impact my sales, my demand of the product that we are manufacturing, if these variables are, the data of these variables is not easily available or if they are very fluctuating variables, then the accuracy will be low. Similarly, whether the data is available or not, जो हमें हमारे इनको हम इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स कहते हैं, तो जो इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स हैं जो मेरे वेरिएबल को प्रिडिक्ट कर रहे हैं, मेरे डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल को प्रिडिक्ट कर रहे हैं, उन इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल से रिलेटेड डेटा मेरे पास है या नहीं. अगर मुझे अपनी नेक्स्ट 6 मंथ्स की सेल्स फोरकास्ट करनी है तो मुझे मार्केट की डिमांड पता होनी चाहिए, मुझे प्राइस लेवल्स पता होने चाहिए, मुझे कंज्यूमर की प्रेफरेंसेस पता होनी चाहिए. क्या ये सब डेटा मेरे पास अवेलेबल है या नहीं? जितना ज़्यादा हमारे पास डेटा एक्यूरेटली अवेलेबल है, उतना ज़्यादा हमारा फोरकास्ट भी एक्यूरेट होगा. अगर हमारे पास कम डेटा अवेलेबल है या एक्यूरेट डेटा अवेलेबल नहीं है, तो मेरा फोरकास्ट की जो एक्यूरेसी है दैट विल ऑल्सो ड्रॉप डाउन. Last is the knowledge and experience of manager. Again, the point comes that because we are talking about future, because we are forecasting future, so 100% accuracy can never be there. The data which is available pertains to past and present. It does not pertain to future. आप past data के basis पर future predict कर रहे हो, तो उसमें आपको managerial judgment भी चाहिए, आपको intuition भी चाहिए, आपको knowledge भी चाहिए, आपको qualitative डेटा भी चाहिए. वो कहाँ से आएगा? वो मैनेजर की नॉलेज और एक्सपीरियंस से आएगा. बहुत सारे डिसीजंस ऐसे होते हैं जब मैनेजर को कोई डिसीजन लेना है, उससे रिलेटेड कोई पास डेटा अवेलेबल ही नहीं है, तो उस समय पर क्या सबसे ज्यादा काम आएगा? द एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ मैनेजर, द नॉलेज ऑफ मैनेजर. बिकॉज डेटा नहीं है, लेकिन आपको अपनी नॉलेज के बेसिस पर, अपने इंटेलेक्ट के बेसिस पर यू हैव टू मेक अ डिसीजन. Now, when we are forecasting any future trend on the basis of past data, we have to remember that if in the past any one-time event has taken place, which was an exceptional circumstance, then that should not be considered while making a forecast. Right? So you are trying to predict future, you have the past data available with you. उस past data में से कोई एक figure, कोई एक event आपको ऐसा लगता है कि ये one time event था, एक बार हो गया, लेकिन this is not a normal thing, ऐसा बार बार नहीं होगा, तो उस चीज को आप उसके basis पर आप future predict नहीं करोगे. Right? Say for example, if I want to predict the GDP growth rate of India, ठीक, उसमें मैं अगर पास्ट 1-1.5 साल का जो डेटा है, जब कोरोना पीरियड रहा, दिस वाज एन एक्सेप्शनल वन टाइम इवेंट, ठीक ठीक है. This is not something which is normal, which has kept happening in the past या future में भी ऐसा ही चलता रहेगा, ऐसा नहीं है. तो ये जो 1-1.5 साल का डेटा है, this should not be used for predicting the future trends of GDP growth rate. Fine. This is how we remove out the exceptional one-time events which are likely not to occur again. So they will not be occurring in future again. So they should not be the base for predicting your future. Now, coming on to the tools of forecasting, that when the forecasting is being done, what kind of methods can be used? Because see, forecasting is very important. We call in fact forecasting as the essence of planning. This forecasting only gives you the planning premises which we talked about while discussing the planning process. This helps you in taking up the informed decisions. This helps you in knowing the future expectations. Fine. So it is very important to have good tools in order to forecast the future. We have both kind of tools. We have qualitative tools as well as quantitative tools. Definitely quantitative methods or quantitative tools are more accurate, but there are circumstances wherein you cannot apply quantitative methods. So if there is something new that you are doing, if you are trying to do something innovative, which is being done for the first time in the market, you will not have any past data or present data related to it. तो जब तक आपके पास पास्ट और प्रेजेंट डेटा ही नहीं है, आप क्वांटिटेटिव मेथड्स अप्लाई नहीं कर सकते. तब आपको कौन से मेथड्स अप्लाई करने हैं? क्वालिटेटिव मेथड्स. So both kind of methods are important. So starting with the qualitative methods, first is your Delphi method. This Delphi method is basically a tool for decision making, right? So whenever you are trying to forecast something for which the past data is not available, you're doing something innovative, then you can take the opinion of the experts. What is done in Delphi method is that a group of experts is chosen from the area for which you are making the prediction. These experts are sent a questionnaire or are sent the problem area, that this is the problem area wherein we want to take a decision. This is the area for which we want to make the forecast. And they send their answers to you. These experts, they do not know each other. They are not aware who are the other experts. They only know that they are a part of the panel of experts. So if 5 experts are there, one expert will not know the name of other 4. Similarly for all others. So they are unaware about who all other experts are. They give their own opinions. And the decision under this process goes through a series of iterations. How does it work? That say all the experts, they individually have given their estimates. क्योंकि हम forecast की बात कर रहे हैं, तो उन्होंने अपने forecasting estimates provide कर दिए individually. Now all these answers will be collected, all this data will be collected, they will be compiled at one place and it will be sent back to the experts, stating that what other experts are saying. Right? It might be possible that 2 or 3 experts are on the same path, are on the same line, जबकि जो the other 2 experts who are there, they are deviating from it. वो उससे बहुत दूर हैं जो बाकी 3 ने कहा. तो आप एक कोलैबोरेट करके सबके आंसर्स को वापस से एक्सपर्ट्स को भेज देते हो. Then in light of what other experts have said, what reasoning other experts have given, what estimates other experts have given, the others can revise their estimates. And this process of revision, it continues till the opinion of the experts, it converges. Okay? It comes on the similar lines. Obviously, it has to be with the reasoning, right? It might be possible that only one person was saying something different, but his reasoning was so strong that all other 4 changed their forecast. So this can go either way. जरूरी नहीं है कि 4 ने जो कहा वही 5वां भी कहेगा और चेंज कर लेगा. हो सकता है वो एक अकेले ने जो कहा था, बाकी 4 उसकी रीजनिंग से influence हो जाए and they change it. They feel that the reasoning given by this one person is more strong and they change their decision. But basically this process keeps on going. आपके पास वापस से आंसर्स आएंगे, फिर से आप कोलैबोरेट करोगे, फिर से आप एक्सपर्ट्स को भेजोगे till they reach a consensus point. This is your Delphi method. Then is the grassroots approach, wherein this is generally followed when you are forecasting sales, when you are trying to forecast the sales for the future, the demand for your product and services for the future. So this method says that you talk to the salesmen. the sales force of your marketing department, because they are actually working on the ground. That is why this is known as grassroots approach, because you are going to the grassroots level. Ultimately consumers के साथ deal कौन कर रहा है? The sales force. So this method says that you take the opinion of the sales force. You take the opinion from them about the market conditions, about the consumers' preferences, because they will give you the most reliable estimates. They will give you the most reliable consumer feedback. Fine. However, when this approach is being followed, it should not be taken up for the long term. The estimates that you are developing, the forecasting that you are doing on the basis of this grassroots approach should only be for short term to medium term. अगर आप long term strategies बना रहे हो, then it is not a good thing to go through the grassroots approach, क्योंकि sales force आपको immediate market demand, immediate consumer feedback के बारे में बता रहा है. So it can only predict up to the short term or maximum up to medium term forecasts. Then is the marketing research method, wherein again when you want to develop forecast about the future demand, you can have a survey through the interviews, through the questionnaires. You can give this questionnaire to the consumers, to your existing consumers as well as to your potential consumers, in order to know the scenario of the market, in order to know the market conditions, so that if any changes in your products are required, if any changes in your services are required, you can do that timely. Or if you are seeing that, you know, as per the market demand, the people are liking your product and there is going to be a surge in the demand of your product or service, then you can at this point of time only start increasing the production of your particular product. So this is the third qualitative method, wherein you collect data through the questionnaires or interviews of your existing as well as potential consumers. Now coming on to quantitative methods, they are the statistical models which will be applicable only when the data is available to you. When the quantitative data is available to you, historical data is there, and it is being expected that whatever past patterns have been there, they will be repeated in future. Then only you can go through these quantitative methods and predict accurately the future trends. Time series analysis is basically when you observe the data over a period of time. So say for example, आपके जो stock market के prices हैं, ठीक है, आप stock market के prices को over a period of time जब study करते हो तो उसमें एक trend दिखने लगता है हर stock में. ठीक है, आप किसी भी कंपनी का स्टॉक उठाओ, आप उनके जब प्राइस को स्टडी करोगे कि डेली का क्लोजिंग प्राइस क्या रहा है या मंथली एवरेज क्लोजिंग प्राइस क्या रहा है, एंड यू पुट इट इन द टाइम सीरीज और आप उसमें स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल लगाते हो, देन इट गिव्स यू अ फ्यूचर ट्रेंड कि आने वाले टाइम में ये कहाँ तक जाएगा स्टॉक, किस टाइम पे ये बढ़ेगा, किस टाइम पे कम होगा. ऑल दैट फोरकास्टिंग कैन बी डन. Similarly, you can do it for the data of sales of your product. ठीक है, आपके पास क्वार्टरली या मंथली सेल्स डेटा है फॉर पास्ट 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. आप उस डेटा को टाइम सीरीज में पुट करते हो तो वो एक बार ग्राफ बना देता है जिसमें दिस टाइम सीरीज लाइन विल प्रिडिक्ट द फ्यूचर ट्रेंड्स, दैट इफ द पास्ट pattern continues, then in future what we can expect. When we talk about regression analysis, this is again a statistical tool wherein you have dependent variables and independent variables. Independent variables are the ones which are going to impact your dependent variable. So in the last slide also I took an example wherein I said that the sales of my product is a dependent variable, and this sales is dependent on a lot of factors. It is dependent upon the consumer demand, it is dependent upon the price of my product, it is dependent on say the substitutes available, the competitors. So all these things on which the sales is dependent, the demand, the price level, the substitutes, these are independent variables. And these together are going to impact my dependent variable, which is the sales of my product in future. So regression analysis, it basically forms a kind of equation wherein we say my dependent variable is dependent on this factor, on these all independent variables. Then which independent variable is impacting how much? हर एक का impact एक जैसा नहीं होगा. हो सकता है मेरे प्रोडक्ट की सेल्स पर प्राइस लेवल का इम्पैक्ट बहुत ज्यादा हो, सब्स्टिट्यूट्स अवेलेबिलिटी का इम्पैक्ट बहुत ज्यादा ना हो. तो ये जो रिग्रेशन एनालिसिस में हमारी इक्वेशन बनती है, It tells us that which independent variable is going to have how much impact on my independent variable. Then similarly, you have economic models. They are complex models of regression, right? So when you have interdependent regression equations, कि आपके पास 3-4 regression equations हैं जो हमने second point में पढ़ी और वो सब एक दूसरे पर interdependent हैं, then you have to make an economic model. Okay, this all can be made through softwares which are readily available. You just have to put your data. It will frame an economic model for you, and it will give you the equations. It will give you the results, which will predict the future. These are also known as the simulation models, right? Computer program based simulation models जो हैं वो भी आपके economic models का ही part होते हैं. So these are some of the quantitative methods that can be applied while making the forecasts. Now we'll move on to our next concept, which is scheduling. Scheduling is nothing but the timeline formation for a particular activity. So when you are determining, when you are laying down the time that will be required to perform each and every operation and the total time required to perform the entire activity, the entire series of operations, that is known as your scheduling. So you are basically trying to allocate the human resources, the physical resources, the financial resources as per the timeline. Fine. Why is it required? Because you have to have optimum utilization of your resources. You know, planning mein, when we were discussing about the principles of planning, we discussed about the limiting factor. So that limiting factor said that you have to have optimum utilization of your resources because they are scarce, they are not abundant. आपके सारे resources ऐसा नहीं है कि unlimited available हैं आपके पास. You have a limit of human resource, you have a limit of financial resource, you have a limit on the physical resources. तो किस resource को best कब possibly utilize आप कर सकते हो, that you can do with the help of scheduling. Right? Say for example, if you take the example of any institute, say they are having 2 seminar rooms in the institute, fine, and they want to utilize these seminar rooms to the maximum possible extent, then what will they do? They will have to see that when is this seminar room free. If I want to organize a seminar, or if I want to organize a conference, then I'll have to first see that when is this seminar room available. When is it vacant? Are some classes going on over there? Has some other department or has some other person already fixed up something in that particular seminar room? So if I prepare a schedule of it, that will be scheduling, right? The best example can be when you get your timetable, that is the scheduling, right? When we give you the timetable, you get your timetable for your particular course. But when the timetable is being made by the department, they make it course wise, they make it teacher wise as well, because teachers ka bhi schedule dekhna hai, class should not be there. They make it room wise also when the physical classes are taking place, that in one particular room only one class can take place at a point of time. So a room wise schedule is also made, that which room is free at what point of time and which class can be put over there. So this is how you allocate your human and physical resources through the scheduling. Now when we talk about organizations, your scheduling will be impacted by a lot of factors. First would be the market demand of your product and service, कि आपकी output requirement क्या है, कितना production आपको चाहिए, और production किस पे dependent होता है? Demand forecast पे. If I know that in next 6 months 1000 units of my product will be required, then I'll have to do the production as per that, क्योंकि आउटपुट भी उतना ही रिक्वायर्ड है, तभी वो सेल ऑफ हो पाएगा मार्केट में. देन व्हाट आर द कंप्लीशन डेट्स और व्हाट आर द डेडलाइंस. अगर आप कोई प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हो और आपको पता है कि क्या डेडलाइन है उसकी, अगर आपको पता है कि आपको 1000 प्रोडक्ट्स जो हैं वो नेक्स्ट 1 मंथ में डिलीवर करने हैं, तो आप उस हिसाब से शेड्यूलिंग करोगे उसके प्रोडक्शन की. हो सकता है आपको 2 शिफ्ट में या 3 शिफ्ट में वर्कर्स को काम करवाना पड़े, बिकॉज यू हैव अ डिलीवरी डेडलाइन. देन इन्वेंट्री लेवल्स, अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ रॉ मटेरियल, क्योंकि जब आपको प्रोडक्शन करना है तो आपको रॉ मटेरियल रिक्वायर्ड है, तो वो कितना रॉ मटेरियल आपके पास ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल है. अगर प्रेजेंटली अवेलेबल नहीं है तो कितनी ड्यूरेशन में आपके पास वो रॉ मटेरियल आ सकता है, क्या मैं कोई ऐसा रॉ मटेरियल यूज कर रही हूँ कि वो ऑर्डर देने के 2 महीने बाद मेरे पास आता है, तो मुझे बहुत ज्यादा एडवांस में उसके लिए प्लानिंग करनी पड़ेगी। और अगर कोई ऐसा रॉ मटेरियल है कि मैं आज ऑर्डर करूंगी और कल मेरे पास आ जाएगा, तो उसका इन्वेंट्री लेवल मैं उस हिसाब से डिसाइड करूंगी, क्योंकि उसमें बहुत ज्यादा टाइम लैग नहीं है। सिमिलरली अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ प्लांट एंड मशीनरी, अगर कोई ऐसा प्लांट, कोई ऐसी मशीन है जो 3 या 4 प्रोजेक्ट्स में काम आती है या 3 या 4 प्रोडक्ट्स के मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में काम आती है, देन यू विल हैव टू डू शेड्यूलिंग ऑफ दैट, राइट। सो बेसिकली ऑफ द फिजिकल रिसोर्सेज, ठीक है, कोई रूम ऐसा है जहाँ पे आपकी मशीनरी पड़ी है और वो 3 अलग अलग टीम्स यूज करती हैं उस प्लेस को, देन यू विल हैव टू प्रिपेयर अ शेड्यूल कि किस टाइम पे कौन सी टीम उसे यूज करेगी। सिमिलरली अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज, कि आपके पास मैन पावर कितना अवेलेबल है। पीक टाइम पे हो सकता है आपको मैन पावर ज्यादा चाहिए हो, जब सीजनल डिमांड होती है तो हो सकता है आपको मैन पावर ज्यादा चाहिए हो और बाद में उतना ना चाहिए, तो फिर आप उस हिसाब से ही उसकी स्केड्यूलिंग करोगे। से फॉर एग्जांपल अगर कोई आपका स्टोर ऐसा है जहाँ पे जब आप सेल्स करते हो आपको मालूम है कि आपका इवनिंग टाइम में पीक टाइम होता है, तब आपको ज्यादा सेल्स फोर्स चाहिए as compared to the morning hours. So maybe when you are employing the sales force, morning may you are having only 3 people in your shop selling the products, and evening may, because you know that more rush would be there, more footfall would be there, so you increase 1 person. In evening shift you have 4 people instead of 3 in the morning. So this is how you do the scheduling of the human resources, and you have to check their availability, right? So when we do the scheduling part, it obviously helps us in knowing that where is my priority, right? As per the priority, I will assign the physical and human resources, the financial resources, and it will ensure the timely completion of my projects. It will help in the better planning of the entire activity of achieving my objectives. Right? So all these things would be the benefits of scheduling if done properly. So forecasting and scheduling both are important elements of planning. Forecasting is the essence of planning, and forecasting and scheduling are related to each other, because when you make forecast on the base, according to those forecasts only you will be doing the scheduling, because both are future oriented. Fine. So we have to understand how forecasting and scheduling form a part of planning and why they are important for the process of planning. That would be it for this particular video. Thank you for listening.